Welcome back. Episode 3 of A Day in the Life of a Dallas Cowboy fan who lives in Eagles country. Yes, lives and works in the city of Philadelphia. It can be rough. And for today's episode is a special episode. As you guys can see behind me, it's the Eagles Cowboys week. And it's a must-win week for us. But we'll get into that later. Want to start off the episode with, my usual living in Eagles country as a Cowboy fan story time. So today is Sunday morning. We play the Eagles tonight. So we got a long game schedule with a bunch of teams that we really don't care about. What we kind of do, there's a lot of games to be played before we get to play at that 8:20 primetime game, right? But story time. So yesterday, Friday, like I said, everybody knows I'm a Cowboy fan. And yes, I work with majority Eagles fans. There's one more Cowboy fan in there, but he doesn't really talk trash like me. So I'm out there on the island by myself. Rel Revis, no safety help, right? So the day goes on, and I'll be honest with you, there was not much trash talk throughout the week because, we need this win. The Eagles, they're trying to bounce back. It wasn't a lot of trash talk. Everybody was kind of nervous. We don't know how the game's going to go, right? So Friday, end of the day, where everybody's wrapping up, we have our little safety meeting, and bam, we're hitting the elevators to leave the job site. And my boss comes up to me. Now, mind you, my boss, he's a diehard Eagle fan. Just like me, diehard Cowboy fan. He's a diehard Eagles fan. So when he first found out I was a Cowboy fan, he felt disrespected. Like, he was like, hold on, why are you working for me if you a Cowboy? Long story, whatever, right? So, we had our safety meeting. Everybody's laughing. We're getting ready for the weekend. Saturday, Sundays, full day of football and the big game at 8:20. So as we're walking to the elevator, boss came up to me. He was like, "Hey, yo, Eric, by the way, if the Eagles lose, don't come to work on Monday." Wasn't laughing, wasn't smiling, dead straight face. If the Eagles lose, don't come to work on Monday. And like I started laughing, like that's funny. And I looked at him, and he still had the stale face, like not being serious. I'm like, hold on, what they got to do with me and my paycheck? He said, "Nah, you chose the wrong team. That's on you. If the Eagles lose, don't come to work on Monday." And I'm like, yo, but what about such and such? He a Cowboy fan. Nah, but we don't care about him. He not really diehard. You is a bullseye on your back. If the Eagles lose, don't come to work. I'm like, dang, is he being serious? Nah, he gotta be joking. And then the guy who's next in charge, who's right underneath our boss, he's like, no. If they lose, he can come to work, but he ain't getting paid. And I'm like, ain't that about a like what? And I'm so the whole time thinking like, dang, do I gotta root for the Eagles? Nah. I guess I gotta get a new job next week because I ain't rooting for no Eagles. And as we hit the elevators, he was playing. But for a quick second, I'm like, God dang, these Eagles fans is more ruthless than the Grinch who stole Christmas. So, I mean, that's the quick little story time for today. Like I said, it is pretty much my story time shows you the rough life I live being a Cowboy fan and living and working in the city of Philly. It could be rough. My boss wants to fire me because I'm a Cowboy fan. He gives me the hardest task at work because I'm a Cowboys fan. Luckily, the Eagles are pretty good. And they got a good record. So he's always in a good mood. But I got a feeling that tomorrow at work, he's going to be in a bad mood. But we get to that momentarily. So, episode 3, A Day in the Life of a Cowboy Fan. I want to play a little game. So, if you guys, are really deep into football, college prospects, when they're in the draft, they get a player comparison. So, I want to do a little something. I was watching some games. I was looking at the schedules. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, such and such plays like this guy back in the day. And he plays like this guy back in the day. So, I want to do an NFL player comparison of NFL quarterback edition from pastime players, right? So if you guys don't understand the rules, I'll start off easy. The obvious ones. NFL player comparisons from guys back in the day. First name Lamar Jackson. His NFL player comparison is Mike Vick. Pretty plain and simple. They play the same electrifying fast, got zip on the ball, sneaky good, accurate quarterbacks. But everybody knows them for their speed and scrambling ability, and there's nothing wrong with that. So Lamar Jackson, player comparison, I got Michael Vick. I give you another easy one. Anthony Richardson. Who is Anthony Richardson player comparison in your opinion? Go ahead and comment below. Because mine is simple. Cam Newton. Big structured quarterbacks who run hard, are fast, still really good and respectable in the pass game, and good leaders. Now, Anthony Richardson, he's young. He's a rookie. He played about 3 games, so we really don't know, but you can see he has that in him. When he's playing for the Colts, he was making it happen, whether it was running it in, throwing it in, being a good leader. So my player and Cam Newton led the Panthers to an undefeated season into the Super Bowl. Now they lost, but he put in work that year and got MVP. And I see Anthony Richardson as a future NFL MVP award-winning guy. The next one, I don't know if a lot of people will agree with this because the player comparison, both players are still playing, right? But I have Jalen Hurts. Now, when I watch Jalen Hurts play, 90% of his play type ability reminds me of this guy. Jalen Hurts plays like a Seattle Seahawk Russell Wilson. I'm talking about the Russell Wilson 2013, 2014, when they had that good defense. They had Beast Mode in the backfield. They had Doug Baldwin out wide. That Russell Wilson. Jalen Hurts plays just like him. They're both those guys. They're mobile. They can run. They're not the fastest guys like a Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick, but they can run and get that first down. Both those guys, really smart guys, really tough guys, really accurate guys. Some of the quiet, they're both quiet guys, perfect NFL poster boys, and they play it like the only difference is Russell Wilson doesn't squat 600 pounds. But Russell Wilson back for the Seattle Seahawks, he won those big games. Jalen Hurts, he's won those big games. Both those guys are poised, smart, reliable. I think Jalen Hurts today reminds me of a Seattle Seahawk Russell Wilson. Comment below if you agree with that one. I think that's a good one. My next current day NFL quarterback for player comparison is Brock Purdy. My NFL player comparison for Brock Purdy is Eli Manning. Both guys who wins a lot of games. Both guys who aren't the greatest. They're not on the level of Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, but they're better than your average. They get the job done. They're very respectable, and they're going to win the big game, whether it's because of them or their roster. Now, Eli has two or three Super Bowls. I want to say 2 Super Bowls against Tom Brady, right? And he wasn't doing it all. He was really good, but he had a good roster. That defensive line was crazy. He had Tiki Barber in the backfield. He had Plaxico out wide. He had Jeremy Shockey. Like, he had some weapons. And he did his part, which, like I said, Eli Manning, he's a really good quarterback. So this is not any slight for Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, he has CMC. He has Brandon Ayuk, Debo, George Kittle, and he has a good defense. Kind of similar to those Giants teams who took down Tom Brady. And I feel like both Brock Purdy and Eli, they play alike. They might make, some mistakes with a bad throw here or there. But for the most part, they're going to have a flawless game. So Brock Purdy and Eli, that's a good player comparison. Think about it. My next one, I got to throw my boy Dak Prescott in there. And my player comparison for Dak Prescott is Steve McNair. Both respectable quarterbacks. Dak gets a lot of publicity because he plays for Cowboys. But I think both those guys kind of similar to each other. They both were mobile. Like Dak, he's mobile. He can run. Does he run as a lot? Not really, but he's getting more back to it. Steve McNair, he could run for the first down. Both guys are accurate. If you don't think Dak Prescott's accurate, you're 9 times out of 10 you're an Eagle fan or you're just a hater. Steve McNair was one of the best quarterbacks to play the game of football. Now he's not top 10. He's not top 15. He might not be a top 20, but he was a very respectable quarterback when he played for the Tennessee Titans and took that team to the Super Bowl, which I think Dak is the same. Very respectable. He's not going to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL history, but when he plays in his seasons, he'll always be a top 10 in the season. Steve McNair is top 10 when he played in the season, but he's not top 10, top 15 in NFL history, right? Both those guys, they get the job done. They might take an ugly L here or there, but, for the most part, they're good quarterbacks. When they have to rely on the run game, they'll do that. Steve McNair had Eddie George back there. We had Zeke for a while. Now we got TP. Both guys are respectable quarterbacks, and I think they play alike, which is why I chose them two as my player comparison: Dak Prescott and Steve McNair. And then my last player comparison, Josh Allen, and no other than Brett Favre. I mean, you understand why. Both those guys throw a lot of picks. And while we're talking on the quarterback subject, let's build the perfect quarterback. Now, I've been seeing this on Twitter a lot where you go ask players, hey, build your best quarterback. And the qualities that you use is football IQ, accuracy, mobility, arm strength, toughness, competitiveness. Those are the attributes you have to pick. What quarterback, to build the best quarterback, what quarterback has the best accuracy, best mobility, strength, toughness, IQ, so on and so forth, right? And the most recent one that I've seen was Shador Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, who plays for Colorado, University of Colorado. And when he was asked, he pretty much had himself for every single category. Now, Shador is definitely a good quarterback. He'll be a first rounder whenever he decides to, enter the draft. But I think he was just, he had I don't think you should pitch yourself. Just play the game right. Right now, if he really believes that, hey, go ahead. But when I'm building the best quarterback here on a day in the life of a Dallas Cowboy fan who lives and works in Philly, this is me building the perfect quarterback. Football IQ, I'll probably have to go Dak. Accuracy, Dak. Mobility, definitely Dak. Arm strength, Dak has a cannon. Toughness, Dak. And competitive, Dak. So pretty much the best quarterback is Dak. Right? No? Yeah, y'all don't agree with me? All right. Let's be, in all seriousness, let's build the perfect quarterback. Football IQ, a lot of guys won't put this guy, but I'm going Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? And you may think, what? Ryan Fitzpatrick? What? Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick. When I Googled it, Fitzpatrick has the highest reported Wonderlic test score achieved amongst all NFL quarterbacks. He's the only person to score to earn a verified perfect score on the Wonderlic, and also he graduated from Harvard. So dude is smart. When it comes to football IQ, I'm going with the smartest guy in NFL history, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, you could have other guys there, comment below who you have for your perfect quarterback. For football IQ, I'm going with the smartest guy, the guy who scored a perfect score, the guy who graduated from Ivy League, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think this is a great start for building the perfect quarterback, and a sneaky good start because nobody's thinking like that. When it comes to accuracy, I'm going to have to go with Patrick Mahomes. Now, I've said it on this podcast before. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in NFL history. He could have retired last year and would have been a first ballot NFL Hall of Famer. And I think he's been in the league for 5 years, maybe 6 years. I'm not sure. If he retired last year, he'd been in the NFL Hall of Fame. And I think he is the most accurate quarterback ever. Like when he does those side throws and those no looks and then lands on the money, a perfect example of accuracy is when he was playing against the Eagles and had a game-winning throw in the breadbasket of his wide receiver, and dude dropped it. That was a dot, right? So for accuracy, Patrick Mahomes. Mobility, I mean, there's 3 guys that come to mind off the bat. Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton. Oh, and I throw Anthony Richardson in there, but he's still young. I'm going with Michael Vick, the guy who started off, the guy who made it cool, the Allen Iverson of the NFL, Michael Vick. That guy was so elusive. He had the running back skills of Reggie Bush at USC. And if you know football, you know Reggie Bush is probably the best college running back ever. So whenever Mike Vick ran the ball, everybody's heart dropped like, dang, don't run over here because he's going to shake you. He's like, he got that in him. He got that dog in him. So mobility, I'm going Mike Vick. Like I said, you can go Lamar, you can go Anthony Richardson, you can go Cam. I'm going Mike Vick. Arm strength, right? This is another sneaky one. Just like my Ryan Fitzpatrick for IQ, arm strength, I'm going with a guy that nobody's really thinking of because his NFL career didn't pan out. But you have to think, we're just taking pieces from people's games, not their career, pieces. And for my arm strength, I'm going Jamarcus Russell. the guy who was on 2 knees and launched the ball 70 yards. Yes, Jamarcus Russell's. Now, when everybody think of the guy Jamarcus Russell, they're like, "Yo, he was a bust. You taking who? He didn't play. He never panned out." They told the guy to go film study. Go in the room and go film study. It's already loaded. It's hit play and start studying. And he said, "All right, coach." And the next day, the dude asked me, "Yo, Jamarcus, how was film study?" And he was like, "Oh, it was good." He said, what did you go over?" And he said some BS answer like, "Yo, cover two, or attacking cover three zone, this and the third." And the coach was like, "Oh, that's what's up." Mind you, the coach played him. The tapes were blank. So that's when people hear about Jamarcus Russell, they thinking that like, "Yo, he's the a-hole. He didn't pan out. He's a bust, and he was a liar." But when it comes to that arm strength, he has probably one of the strongest arms in NFL history. Another guy who came to mind was Josh Allen. But, I don't think Josh Allen is being on 2 knees and launching the ball 70 yards. Like, that's pure strength. Toughness, it hurt for me to say this, because I'm a Cowboy fan. I don't want to give no respect to Eagles guys, but toughness, I'm going Jalen Hurts. The guy is tough. He's out there limping around with a brace on his knee. He gets pounded week after week. He doesn't get calls because the refs know he's tough. He knows he can take hits. And for a quarterback to squat 600 pounds is unbelievable. So toughness, I'm definitely going with Jalen Hurts. And it is what it is. I'm not going with Eagles Jalen Hurts. I'm going with Alabama, Oklahoma Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? Not Eagles Jalen Hurts. So the recap, we got one more category left, and that's competitiveness. But the recap, football IQ, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the smartest NFL quarterback ever. Perfect score, Ivy League graduate. Accuracy, Pat Mahomes. Those no looks, those side throws, those zips between 2, 3 defenders, and still makes a nice accurate throw. Mobility, the GOAT, Mike Vick. Arm strength, Jamarcus Russell. That's like a great pick. That's like going on having a football fantasy draft and you pick up Jalen Hurts 2 years ago when nobody thought he was going to do nothing. He pop ball with 35 points a game. That's that type of pick. That's Jamarcus Russell. I'm happy with that pick. Toughness, I'm going with Jalen Hurts. Alabama, Oklahoma, Jalen Hurts. In competitiveness, the last category, I got to go with Tom Brady, the GOAT, the winner, the guy who's like the Steph Curry of the NFL. When you think about the Warriors, they could be down by 15 points in the fourth. If you got Steph Curry in the game ain't over. That's the same way I look at Tom Brady against the Falcons in the Super Bowl. Yeah, we down 3 scores. I ain't sweating it. We gonna get this done. You know what I'm saying? That's competitive. That's like I'm gonna compete to the last whistle, and I'm going to win. I'm not just going to compete. I'm going to win. So I think I built pretty much the perfect quarterback you can have with the smartest guy ever, one of the GOATs, fastest quarterback, strongest arm, real tough guy, and Tom Brady. I mean, I think I won that game. Comment below your perfect quarterback build using those categories. But moving on to NFL Week 14, where we make our picks straight money line for your parlays out there. We don't do spread, we just do straight money lines. But before we get into that, I have to go over the Cowboys rooting guide for Week 14, the teams that we need to win in these specific matchups to better us in our playoff positioning, right? So I saw this on Twitter, and I agree with it. The first game that for the Cowboys rooting guide, we need the Falcons to beat the Bucks. That's number one. If you're a Cowboy fan, write these down and follow these games. We need Falcons over the Bucks. We need the Ravens over the Rams. We need the Raiders over the Vikings. We need the Lions over the Bears. We need the Panthers over the Saints. We need the Seahawks over the 49ers, which I don't think is going to happen. And we need the Giants over Green Bay. I don't think that's going to happen either. Those are 7 games that we need to happen to better position us going into the playoffs and hopefully winning that number 1 seed to have a bye in the playoffs. Go ahead and write those games down and let's pray. But moving on to the Week 14 games where we make our picks, who we think are going to win. Let's do it. Okay, Week 14. Bucks Falcons. The Falcons are 6-6. The Bucks are 5-7. I'm still going with the Bucks. Like, yo, Desmond Ritter, they're starting to use Bijan better, but I just think Baker Mayfield and that Mike Evans connection is way better than what the Falcons have to offer. So I'm going Bucks, right? Bengals Colts, battle of the backup quarterbacks. Now the Colts are 7-5, Bengals are 6-6. I'm going Bengals. Jags Browns, I'm going Jags. Self-explanatory. Now, if the Browns had their starting running back, I'm not even going to say Tron Watson. If they had Nick Chubb back there with that defense, I would go Browns. But I'm going Jags. Texans Jets, I'm going C.J. Stroud. Dak Jr., I'm going Texans over the Jets. Rams Ravens, that's a good game. We need the Ravens to win. I need the Ravens to win for my parlay. And I think the Ravens get that game. I think they improve to 10-3. Lions Bears, I think that's easy. I'm going with the Lions, which is crazy because beginning of the season we thought the Bears were going to be nasty. Nope, I'm going with the Lions. Panthers Saints, dang, Panthers 1-11. Yeah, Saints got that easy. Even though the Saints are only 5-7, I'm going Saints. That could be an upset, but I'm going Saints. Vikings Raiders. Justin Jefferson is back, right? I just don't like Josh Dobbs. Even though he did beat us when he was with the Cardinals, I'm not feeling Josh Dobbs. Raiders got that grit. They got Devontae Adams. I think I might go Raiders that game. Seahawks 49ers. I got the 49ers, dog. Yo, 49ers is tough. They like a tank out there on the battlefield. 49ers is tough. I got the 49ers. Bills and Chiefs. I'm going with the Chiefs. Yep, I think the Bills go to 6-7. I'm going with the Chiefs. Broncos Chargers. Both are underperforming teams. We thought both these teams are going to be good. I might have to go with. I go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers get that game. That both those teams will be 6-7 heading into next week. We're not going to talk about the Cowboys Eagles games. We're going to end the episode off with that. So Monday night game. There's 2 Monday night games. Why is there 2 Monday night games at the same time on obviously different channels? Somebody comment below. Why are they doing that? What if I wanted to watch both games? Why couldn't you do like one early game and one late game? You have them at the same time. Whatever. Packers, Giants. I got the Packers. The Packers, they've been sneaky good as of lately. They're 6-6 now. They might make the playoffs. I got the Packers killing the Giants. Dolphins, Titans. I got the Dolphins. Easy. And now, what we've been waiting for: the Eagles versus the Cowboys. Prediction, right? And I like to be non-biased. This is non-biased. I might say some things that's gonna hurt my pride, right? Eagles versus Cowboys. Now let's talk about the first time we played. Going into in the beginning of the season, I knew we were going to split series. I knew we always split with the Eagles. So I was like, we're going into Philly the first time we played. It's going to be rough, right? I just wanted it to be a tough game, a close game. We come out with the victory. Good. Obviously, I want us to win. But I just know it's tough to go in there and win, especially with those fans and the atmosphere and the way that they're playing as of late. The Eagles are a good team. So the game goes on. Mind you, I'm at work. I had work that day. So I'm checking my phone. I'm trying to sneak in the YouTube TV app to watch. And, beginning of the game, I'm like, God dang, them Eagles is rough. And then we started coming back, right? And it just hurt my soul that we had the chance. We had the shot to win. Like that last drive, was a bunch of penalties. And we got down, I want to say it in the red zone. And which brings me up, it's 2 factors from that game that hurts. One, Terrence Steele. All eyes are going to be on Terrence Steele today. That last game, Hassan Reddick was harassing that boy. I mean, it was like he was just getting off starts at track practice. Terrence Steele was a non-factor, and Dak he had to look to his right the whole game because dude was in his face because Terrence Steele was selling out. Which made me mad is because, we just paid this guy all this money in the offseason. This shouldn't be happening. At least get in his way. So all eyes on Terrence Steele. We better be chipping over in that side every play. And if we can contain Hassan Reddick, if Steele can contain Hassan Reddick, our chances goes through the roof right now. Right? So Terrence Steele, all eyes on you. Please have a good game. Because I want to say you lost the game for us the first time we played, but you lost the game for us. The next thing I think about is Zeke. Did we make a mistake by letting Zeke go? I think that's yes and no. Yes, no, I'm gonna say no first. No, it wasn't a mistake because we owe him a lot of money, and he's not worth that money anymore, right? His better days are past him, which is rightfully so. A lot of running backs only last 3 to 5 years in the league, and Zeke has surpassed that. And Zeke is an NFL Hall of Fame running back from what he has done in those first few years of his NFL career. But I don't think it was a bad idea to let him go because I wasn't trying to pay a running back that amount of money who can average at least 90 yards a game, right? And I say, yes, it was a mistake because Zeke was our tush push. Zeke was automatic in the end zone. To get in the end zone, 1 to 5 yards, Zeke was automatic. He always found the hole. He always snuck in there, and he put his shoulder down to force his way in the end zone. If we had Zeke in that first game, we would have won in Philly. And today would have been like, oh, yeah, we about to sweep these boys. But we don't have Zeke, and that hurts. If we had Zeke, I honestly think we'll be 11-1 right now. All I'm just saying. But yeah, I mean, you got to make decisions. Like, is he worth that money? Maybe to be 11-1, number one in the division, the conference, and beating the Eagles in their spot. But it was tough, man, to get those penalties for us. And then that first time we played them, and not being able to push the ball in the end zone to win that game because our right tackle was getting harassed out there. It's tough, right? So it's the second matchup of the season, and I'll be a lie to tell you I'm 100% confident. Like I said, I'm non-biased. I always keep it real, especially with my Cowboys. I'm not super confident right now, but at the same time, I'm not nervous at all. I'm legit on the fence right now, right? I was talking to my one homeboy who's an Eagles fan, but we're both kind of like on the same level. Like, we're not biased. We state facts for the most part. I know I do. Sometimes he can be a little iffy. His little Eagles juice get to him. This game is on the fence. I mean, I don't see the Cowboys losing to the Eagles twice because we always split, especially at home. That's one. But at the same time, I don't see the Eagles losing back-to-back games because they're that good of a team. Now, if the Eagles would have beat the 49ers, I'd be like, yeah, we about to spank them today because they're on cloud nine. They just beat the best team in the NFL. They're not really, they ain't got that chip on their shoulder because they just beat the 49ers. The fact that they lost to the 49ers makes things interesting and tough. But I mean, I think this is a statement game for Dak right now, in my opinion, and should be in everybody else's opinion if you're non-biased. He's number one in the MVP race. If he beats the Eagles today with a nice game, I think the award is his to lose. So that's on the line. Another thing is on the line is we're 9-3, they're 10-2. The winner of this game is number one in the division. Now, if we win, we still won't be. I think the 49ers will be number one in the conference still, which is cool because that's part of my parlay. But yeah, man, it's for the division. Even though for the rest of the season after this week, the Eagles have an easier schedule than us. Like, this is towards the end of their gauntlet. We're entering our gauntlet with this game. So if we win, I feel like for the rest of the season, the Eagles will have a better record than us. So they'll probably still win the division. It is what it is. I don't care that much about it. I just want us to, do good in playoffs and make a conference championship and hopefully a Super Bowl. So it's tough. Who do I think wins? I think, honestly, to be non-biased, I think it's going to be a tough game. It's going to go down to the fourth quarter. I think there's going to be a bunch of lead changes. There's going to be some turnovers. I don't know which quarterback's going to do it because last year Dak had a turnover problem. This year is Jalen Hurts. But ultimately, like, I don't want to say this, but the Eagles, I don't want to say they've been getting lucky, but they've been getting lucky, dog. Let's think about this, man. Dolphins, they had a chance to win, right? Who else? The Bill? No, okay, but they beat the Dolphins. They won that game fair and square. The two games I'm thinking about are the Chiefs and the Bills. Straight got lucky. Come on, I don't want to say it, but let's call a spade a spade. If we ever get lucky like this, I will admit to it. Like, yo, like against the Seahawks, a couple of those penalties, I admit to it. Yo, that was a lucky call. I appreciate that one. Maybe I shouldn't have been a flag and it helped us win the game. Tyler Lockett, he dropped the pass he normally catches. That helped us win us the game. I'll take the victory, but I'm going to admit to it. Like, yo, yeah, we got lucky there, right? Eagles fans don't do this. And I mean, I don't blame them because, hey, we won. We ain't looking in the past. Whatever. The Chiefs should have beat the Eagles. Pat Mahomes threw that ball on the money. It was like a minute, some change left. They would have scored. Game was over. But the Chiefs receiver MVS dropped a wide open pass. That's called luck, just like the Lucky. Tyler Lockett. I call a spade a spade. Same scenario. We got lucky. Lockett dropped the ball. Y'all got lucky. He dropped the game-winning touchdown. So they should have lost to the Chiefs, right? What's that? That's 9-3 right there. They would have been 9-3 because they're 10-2 right now. And then against the Bills, Gabe Davis and Josh Allen, they weren't like it was a touchdown, but Josh Allen just threw the ball straight where Gabe Davis broke out to the corner route. That would have ended the game. They got lucky again right there. But they won those games. I take nothing away from it. They're 10-2. They won those games. I'm just saying. I feel like their luck might be running out, and maybe they're using their luck cards a little bit too early because I want to keep ours in the deck and throw them joints out like a draw 4 in the playoffs and the conference championship and the Super Bowl. I want to use my draw 4s later on in the season to win that ring, to win that Super Bowl championship. So ultimately, who do I think is going to win this game? I think it will be the Cowboys, non-biased. Like I said this at the beginning of the season. We're going to split. I still believe that. Even though they just lost to the 49ers, I see they can drop 2 straight. Let's think about it. The 49ers lost 3 straight, and they're the best team in the NFL. So it's not unheard of for a real good team, to lose 2 straight where the best team lost 3 straight. I think it's going to be a field goal game. If I had to score and prediction, I might go something like 34-31 total in favor of the Cowboys. We'll have the lead in the division for a week or two until we get deep into this gauntlet. And hurts me to say this. Ultimately, I do think the Eagles win the division, but going into the playoffs, my playoff matchup, if it works out in this way, 49ers versus Cowboys. But yeah, man, it's going to be a good game. I'm nervous already. What time is it? It's like it's 8:45 in the morning, and I'm nervous because it's that Eagles Cowboys rivalry, and I got to go to work tomorrow in Philly. So see you guys after the game, man. We'll talk about it in episode 4. Good luck to everybody today.